Hola! So today is actually a very special game I wanted to play with you. It's I I don't remember when exactly I played it the first time, but it's been like 10 years, and I fucking loved it. When big then, and yeah, I hope you enjoy it too. It's an interesting game. It has influenced and inspired so many games and shows and stories after that. Yeah, it's very interesting. Let's do English subtitles. It's called Stanley Parable. Ah, confirm. Sorry. Have you played before? Well, that's a good question because I have played it, but you haven't. So I don't know what to choose. Let's say no because I'm showing you like the experience, right? Yeah. Current time, okay. Oh, it's okay, 12 system key, then 6, 33. Confirm. Okay. So let's go to audio. Let's make everything a little bit, maybe narrate to volume.
This is the story of a man named Stanley.
Okay, that's nice. Music volume is... Here is okay. Sound effects. Okay. Nice. Okay, so just a little bit about this game and why I decided to play it. First of all, it's wonderful. It's very nostalgic for me. But also, there is a second game from the same developer and or developer team, which I actually wanted to play for you in the first place. But I think it's better to play this one and then the one that I originally wanted to play, because that's the way I played them and that's the way they were made, and it kind of prepares you for the other game. So yeah, we'll do this first. Full screen, okay. Well, that's what? No, it's fine. Okay, general field of view. Well, camera we will see. English on. Okay. Okay. Perfect. Well. Yep, it's recording. Then let's go. The end is never the end. Is never the end. Is never the end.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy. And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Okay, so first of all, I definitely had nightmares like that, or like dreams just in general. But also, I hate Mondays. Sorry, just a little bit less. Okay. Okay, nice. No, nothing. Also, I remembered about this game again after watching Severance, because, like, quite a big part of that show is kind of related to office workers.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office,
I did.
But it didn't make a single difference.
Yes, I
Nor
did.
it advance the story in any way. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
You see, narrator. I just did that. So something changed. What's the sound? Ooh. Ooh. Wait. Nice.
At first, Stanley assumed he'd broken the map
until
he heard this narration and realized it was part of the game's design all along.
Oh, fuck you.
He then praised the game for its insightful and witty commentary into the nature of video game structure and its examination of structural narrative tropes.
No, I just
So,
broke
now
your
that
game.
you're here, what do you think? Isn't this a fun and unique place to be?
Absolutely.
Why don't we take a minute just to drink it all in? Okay, I'm over it now. What do you think? Are you sick of this gag yet?
No.
Then in that case, we'll continue. But now, here comes the real question. What do you think would have happened if you had told me that you wanted this to stop? Do you think it would have been particularly different? Would I have taken the same idea but rephrased it superficially to fit that answer? Perhaps you never would even have thought of it if I hadn't brought up the issue in the first place. Oh, now think about it. Will it be worth it for you to restart and then come back here just to do the other option?
No.
Clearly, this whole gag takes some time. What if the other option is even longer? How long will you spend in total just to have heard all the narration? Oh, and this is rich. Perhaps you've just played the other option, and now you've come to see what happens in this one.
Sure.
So, what do you think? Which choice was the better one? Imagine if you had selected continue on your first playthrough, how tantalizing it would be not knowing what happens when you pick the other option. Indeed, you are one of the lucky ones. Though if
Okay, I fucked up a little bit because it's kind of a lot right now without seeing the rest of the game, but it's fine. You might already see the way this game works. Like, the narrator is kind of a character here. It's not just the narration, like in other games. It's a little bit more.
The other option is really miserable to listen to, then perhaps you're not. In fact, I'm just going to say that no one who's listening to this is lucky. Well now, I've built up the other options so much that I'm going to stop talking and leave you to your decision whether to come back here, continue with the game, or just sit in this spot forever and ever.
Okay.
Cheers.
Cheers. So yeah, I actually completely I forgot about this thing. I remembered about it right as I accidentally got on the office chair. Because you can't jump in this game. So when I did, I was like, what the fuck? And then I remembered that you can get out of the window, but I didn't remember what comes next. So, well, this doesn't work anymore. I could restart, and this doesn't work anymore. Okay, I'll have to restart. This happens in this game again and again and again. You'll have to restart sometimes. Okay.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Perhaps.
Stanley went around touching every little Oh, please. Are you really just doing this for the achievement?
No, I'm trying
Click
to open
a door
doors.
5 times. Is that all that you think an achievement is worth? No. I can't just give these merits away for such little effort. A measly 5 clicks. Now suppose you were to click the door 20 times. I would say that's the kind of effort that warrants recognition.
Nah. Ooh. I hope this does something. Me turning off the computers. Okay. Well. Nothing works. Ooh. Sales in this quarter. This does not make sense. No. Okay. Nothing that could help me.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Decisions. The door on the left. But did I? No, I didn't.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Maybe. Or maybe I don't care about you, narrator. Why would I trust you? Like, why?
Ah, yes, truly a room worth admiring.
Ooh.
It had really been worth the detour after all,
Yeah.
just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in.
Yes, I did. I mean, look. It's a wonderful room. You have sofa.
Yes.
You have 3
really,
mics.
really worth it being here in the room.
Yeah.
A room so utterly captivating that even though all your co-workers have mysteriously vanished, here you sit looking at these chairs and some paintings. Really worth it.
Look at this plant. Looks like a peace lily.
At this point, Stanley's obsession with this room bordered on creepy. and reflected poorly on his overall personality.
I'm
It's
sorry.
possible that this is why everyone left.
Can't a girl have a hobby? As I said, this looks like a peace lily, just huge.
Stanley sat around waiting for more dialogue.
No.
But when a long time had passed and there was no more, he decided that the game was trying to send him a message.
Interesting. I did set the time. Didn't seem to. Fuel. Okay. Coffee nut. Cool. Number one dead, okay. Well. Ooh. I can't. Wait. Controls. Oh. So you can actually jump. Interesting. Okay, interact, crouch. Maybe crouch. No, I still can't read it. It is the... I'm hungry. Past that never happened. I can't read it. Sorry. It's too small. Recommendations from the Oversight Committee. Fifth annual subcommittee meeting of internal revenue analysis for committees of Royal Revenue discussions. Okay, that's just stupid. Okay, now I am ready to move on.
But at last, he'd had enough of the amazing room and took the first open door on his left to get back to business.
No, I did not.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
I mean... following directions is not the only thing that makes you good at your job. Ooh. Don't jump for the moving cargo. Penalty for misuse. Penalty for jumping of the cargo will cause death. I mean, you can't penalize me if I'm
Look,
dead,
Stanley,
so...
I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. What? Really?
Yep.
I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others?
Yep.
Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance.
I don't trust you, dude. There's just some voice in my head.
Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door.
I haven't really watched The Matrix. So, you know, red and blue pill, always mix them up. I do think that the red pill was the one that was like, ooh, come back to the reality and stuff. But it's also the one that he wants me to go through. Okay, this time let's try to just ignore him completely.
Perhaps you misunderstood. Stanley walked through the red door.
No, I walked through the blue door.
I still don't think we're communicating properly. Stanley walked through the red door.
No, I did not. No.
All right, fine. Go ahead, Stanley.
Thank you.
You want to know so badly what's out there? You want to find out what lies at the end of this road you've chosen? Well,
Yep.
don't let me stop you.
Thank you.
You see? There's nothing
Ooh,
here.
cool.
I haven't even finished building this section of the map because you were never supposed to be here in the first place.
But
Broken
it's here.
rooms, exposed developer textures. Is this what you had wanted?
Yes.
Was it worth ruining the entire story I had written out specifically for you?
Yes.
Do you not think I put a lot of time into that? Because I did. And in the end,
Oh, I
it was all
trust
for
you.
nothing. Because
Yeah.
this is what you wanted to see. Help me here, Stanley. Help elucidate these strange and unknowable desires of yours. What would have made this game better? What did you want to see? Vehicles? Skill trees?
Would be nice.
Work with me. You've given me absolutely nothing so far.
Jumping.
Tell you what. Let me take a stab in the dark at a new design, and you can give me some feedback.
Okay.
There we go. A third option.
Ooh.
This already feels leaps ahead of where we were before.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Stanley. Take it for a spin.
Let's try. Ooh,
Okay,
nice.
I'm going to stop you there. Now, tell me about your experience with this new version. Would you say that the game benefited from allowing you more choices? Feel free to be honest. I'm looking for some real critical feedback here.
Okay. Real critical feedback. I think it did benefit, but it could have been better.
Okay, so we're getting somewhere.
Yes.
Clearly there's something here that speaks to you. If I can be honest here, I really don't have any idea where I'm going with this. This whole third door thing was just a stab in the dark. But I guess you're into it, so
Yeah.
let's keep this party train rolling. Here, based on the data from your previous playthrough, I've compiled a new version. And to be perfectly candid, I think I've knocked it out of the park with this one. Let's take a look.
Is it a window? Oh. Oh. Leaderboard. Okay. Good old Neil. Nacho Nacho. Voila. Okay. Did you know that 21% of players skipped the intro sequence? Only the worst 3% of players chose the blue door. How long does it take you to get the correct door? Compete against others to improve your Stanley Parable career. Okay, I'm not online for 7 hours. I'm sorry. You're objectively ranked. Sure. Sure. Players are more attractive than Stanley, 99%. This is your superior. A dead rat is offline. Okay, I don't care.
Now, would you say that competitive leaderboard helped you feel motivated to keep walking through doors? Again, honest answers, please.
Okay, I really liked the leaderboard, but it didn't motivate me to go through doors.
Hey, I nearly forgot. I've got a prototype of a new game I've been working on, and now would be a lovely opportunity to give it some play testing.
Okay.
You wouldn't mind taking a look at it, would you?
No,
Perfect.
sure.
Let me boot it up.
Oops.
In this game, the baby crawls left towards danger. You click the button to move him back to the right, and if he reaches the fire, you fail. It's a very meaningful game, all about the desperation and tedium of endlessly confronting the demands of family life. I think the art world will really take notice. But of course,
Sure.
the message of the game only becomes clear once you've been playing it for about 4 hours. So why don't you give it 4 hours of play to make sure it's effective? Be sure to keep notes on your experience.
Absolutely.
You heartless bastard. Did you do
I
it
mean,
because you hate babies
yeah.
or purely to spite me?
No.
Because if it's the latter, well, I don't know what to do. I'm completely out of ideas.
No, the first
I can't
one.
think of a single thing that might improve the experience for me. I'm not even going to try. I'm out. I'm done. It's over. Thank you for playing. Your input was extremely valuable.
Thank you.
Hey, since my game was so awful, why don't we play someone else's game, just to ease the pain?
Okay.
Let's see. What do we have here? Yes, this seems like it'll work. Let's give it a shot.
What's happening? Oh,
Aha!
Firewatch.
Fascinating. What do you think this game is about, Stanley?
It's
What's our
about watching
backstory?
fire.
What is our motivation?
I know this game.
Well, it seems obvious to me that you are meant to play as a creepy man spying on innocent civilians below you from up high in your creep tower.
It's actually a
Perhaps
good
for
game.
some sort of twisted erotic purpose. Yes,
We can play it
that
too.
must be it.
It's good.
What a fascinating venture into the experience
Really
of total mental
atmospheric.
depravity. So far, I love everything about this game, Stanley. And it seems there's even more. Come, let's venture outward and see what else is out there.
It's a really, really nice indie game. Again, it's called Firewatch. You are playing as a person who works at the watchtower in the national park. American, like, national park. And literally you watch if there is any fire. Because that's what they do. And it looks like this. It's a really cool game. Okay. And the story is interesting. I would actually really like to talk to you about the story of this game because, like, it's not too, like,
Oh no. No,
Parent.
it can't be. It is. It's an open world game.
Yeah, it
Good
is.
God, quickly block it off.
no.
Thank goodness, Stanley. What a close call. You nearly wandered off into that thing. That big, open, just wandering around. No right or wrong directions. No path to follow. You can just go in any... Oh, thank heavens we avoided it. We're out of the woods now, Stanley. Okay, I'm going to get us out of here.
Let me
Let's
out.
find another game.
Let me out.
Preferably something with walls. Something with nice, big, insurmountable walls.
I think yes, Portal.
Okay, I think this will be just the thing.
Oh no.
Wonderful. See, this is exactly what I
It's
had in
what
mind.
it's called. Oh my
Just a
god.
nice big box for you to run.
Oh my god. Sorry. Oh my god, what it's called? Rocket League. Rocket League. Yes. Sorry, I watched Filza Minecraft. I've told you about him. He calls it bushy cars, so I'm like, or speedy cars. So I literally forgot.
Run. There isn't any possibility that you could get lost here. Now this
It's a game about you being a car, like you actually play as a car, but you play football.
is game design. Stanley, if you manage to get lost in this game, I will be phenomenally impressed.
Well, we did.
Okay, so what exactly do we do here? Let's see. There are lots of cars here in the back, but obviously there's no racetrack. Okay, I'm seeing that there's a ball of some kind back here. Is this game sports ball?
Yes,
Stanley,
it's a
I
sport
think
ball.
it's sports ball. Oh, what fun. We shall run the bases and do a touchdown together? Yes, I think surely we must. Okay, Stanley, here's the ball. Have fun.
Yeah, I don't care. You again gave me red and blue.
Hold on.
I'm going to
What are you
go into
doing?
blue. Blue.
Stanley, don't do that. I can't follow you there. I can't help you. How will you write a story without me? You can't do it. You know that. Stanley, come back.
No, I'm fine. I'm good. Don't really see anything. This actually reminds me of something. I think it's just the textures remind me of some other game. Ooh. Okay. This. Like, I have deja vu. I've definitely played a game that looks like there was something like this. I don't remember what. I've played so many games, thinking back, like so many indie games which are like, I don't know, just maybe half an hour of gameplay, but some of them were wonderful. Or maybe it's like from the demo, from the old demo of the game. I don't know, I'm not sure. No, I don't think so. The demo was different. Okay, so this basically tells us nothing. Okay. The narrator literally, like, I think first time he told us the truth. He couldn't go here with us. Okay, nothing to do here. Let's see, maybe we need to reload again. Oh.
I wonder what he found. If what he wanted was to be the leading man in his own story, well, perhaps he's gotten it. Down in wherever he is right now. I wonder if he's happy with his choice, and if he's learned the heavy cost that comes with it. He'll understand soon what I was trying to tell him. He needs me. Someone who will wrap everything up at the end, to make sense out of the chaos and the fear and the confusion. That's who I am. That is what I mean to this world. Oh, yes. Yes, I'll be back. There's no other way. Once this ends, after it all comes to a close, then I'll be back. The end will be here soon. Very soon.
But the end is never the end.
I can wait.
The end is never the end. So he reset me. This motherfucker.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Okay, so we tried to do everything the opposite way.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Now let's try to do what he says. I'm just Stanley. I don't think. I just act like I'm told to.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
I love this. Do not alter without consulting whiteboard manager. Tomorrow, complete today's unfinished agenda items. Write next day agenda. Reflect. Push for funding for R&D of new coffee machine. Okay. Not cost efficient. Standard. Don't know what it is. Get Chris out of the broom closet. Ooh, ongoing. Interesting. Hire someone to synergize papers. Papers are too synergized. Fire paper guy. Hire somebody to fire the paper guy. Who moved my desk? Please keep the targets on the topic of. Okay. Interesting. Bi-quarterly post-review review. We need reviews. 402 and 405 want to get rid of the death sport portion in the primary review schedule, but I think that's a stupid idea. More water coolers, more water cooler heaters. Yeah. Charts need to be more hip to appeal to teenage demographic. Find teenagers to put in teenage demographic. Big nets, some sort of big child trap. Oof. Teenagers, size of demographic, space between the teenagers. A lot of. Nice. Throw something in the idea bin. No more bins. Trash cans? Renaming of the idea of ideas bin, может быть? Maybe? Okay, sorry. I have struggles with reading like cursive like this. What do people want? Things. Money. More money. Things but with money to buy. More things? Graphs. Graphs about things and money. We have our new product. Perfect. The stock market is somewhere here. Colored in segment. Stripes. Required more secondary research. Target demographic teenagers. What is hot? Profits, 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 profits. Perfect. Let's try. Let's wait until it changes. How to solve a dispute with a coworker. Let it boil up inside you. Take it passive-aggressively on other coworkers. Resent coworkers for not supporting you more. Using slides to assure employment that everything is okay. Make sure your slides has a sleek blue graphic in the header and throw some. Everyone is unique. You most of all. Numbers of slides on this slide. Chart slides, charts and slides. Rated with charts on the same slide depict the same information. Market report, chart slide radio. Rate of increase in the graphic. Okay, let's go. To do. Oh my god. The boss appreciation minute. On your boss appreciation minute worksheet, circle the top 20 things you love about your boss. How nice. Okay, let's go. Broom closet. Okay, we need to get Chris out of broom closet, so... Ooh! Okay.
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track.
No, I didn't, sorry, because I need to find Chris. He's stuck at the broom closet, so...
There was nothing here. No choice to make, no path to follow, just an empty broom closet. No reason to still be here.
I don't trust you. They said there is Chris stuck.
It was baffling that Stanley was still just sitting in the broom
I
closet.
just
He
read
wasn't even
about
doing
Chris.
anything. At least if there was something to interact with, he'd be justified in some way. As it is, he's literally just standing there doing sweet FA.
Yeah. Sure. I'm looking for Chris. I don't know what Chris is.
Are you really still in the broom closet?
Yes.
Standing around doing nothing? Why? Please offer me some explanation here. I'm genuinely confused.
Because you're still talking. And I'm still nowhere closer to...
You do realize there's no choice or anything in here, right? If I'd said Stanley walked past the broom closet, at least you would have had a reason for exploring it to find out. But it didn't even occur to me because literally this closet is of absolutely no significance to the story whatsoever. I never would have thought to mention it.
I don't care. It's a weird closet because there is just literally one broom. There are more,
Maybe
like...
to you this is somehow its own branching path.
Maybe.
Maybe when you go talk about this with your friends, you'll say, "Oh, did you get the broom closet ending? The broom closet ending was my
Oh, fuck
favorite."
you. Yes, it
I
was.
hope your friends find this concerning.
Joke's on you. I don't have one. Any. Haha.
Stanley was fat and ugly and really, really stupid. He probably only got the job because of a family connection. That's how stupid he is. That or with drug money. Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers.
And the narrator is really, really jealous of Stanley because he thinks it's really, really cool.
Well, I've come to a very definite conclusion about what's going on right now. You're dead. You got to this broom closet, explored it a bit, and were just about to leave because there's nothing here, when a physical malady of some sort shut down your central nervous system and you collapsed on the keyboard. Well, in a situation like this, the responsible thing is to alert someone nearby so as to ensure that your body is taken care of before it begins to decompose. Hello? Anyone who happens to be nearby? The person at this computer is dead. They have fallen prey to any number of your countless human physiological vulnerabilities. It's indicative of the long-term sustainability of your species. Please remove their corpse from the area and instruct another human to take their place, making sure they understand basic first-person video game mechanics and filling them in on the history of narrative tropes in video gaming, so that the irony and insightful commentary of this game is not lost on them. All right, when you've done that, just step out into the hallway.
As I was saying, there's only one broom in this closet. And there are like so many, what do we call them? Just like boxes? It should be just a closet or a supply closet. Or there should be more brooms. So, you know, just saying.
Ah, second player. It's good to have you on board. I guarantee you can't do any worse than the person who came before you.
I'll bet.
You too? Unbelievable. I'm at the mercy of an entire species of invalids. Perhaps there's a monkey nearby you can hand the controls to. The fish? Fungus? Look, you can hammer out the details. I'm not particularly picky. I'll just be waiting for when you're ready to pick up the story again.
I mean... Okay, fine. But it was my choice.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Okay. So, the reason why I said that we will do everything he says, but I still went into a broom closet, because it doesn't change anything. So, it's fine. The bathroom. Oh. Fancy. Of course, we're a vampire. We're a vampire. Where is my reflection? I've got the feeling Monday's for stealing, but not yours, of course. So that's a lovely purse. Okay, weird. Business strategy. Okay. Stanley. Recommendations? No, I can't. Where are we going? Can you stop? Like, what's... Thank you. Okay. I actually don't remember the elevators, so... that's cool, I guess. Business time.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this, what dark secret was being held from him. What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this.
Of course. And ironically, I've always wanted to have, like, library, like bookshelves like this.
Stanley just sat around twiddling his thumbs. Trying to input anything on the device was useless, since he could never possibly know that the combination was 2845.
Okay.
Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
Okay. Weird.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
Actually, I forgot to say, in the previous run, when we played different games, in the old versions, why I said that, let me guess, the Portal, because the two games that the narrator gave you the option to play were Minecraft and Portal. Both of them, obviously, I love.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Oh, everything in me wants to go there, but I said we will follow him. This time we will be good.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
And this game was made way before Black Mirror, but it has such Black Mirror vibes. Blue Preservation Protocol. Yeah, they're spying on us.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally
Four
monitored
to
in
seven,
this
I think.
place
No.
where freedom meant nothing.
4 to 7 here. That's us. Yeah, that's our place. Oof. What was that? Oh, just draw. Okay. No, nothing. Okay.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No, he refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never! It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof, the heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions, happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Interesting. I remember. Kind of remember this part. 5. And this one is okay. 3. And 4 is, I guess, there. No. I don't see anything. How do I get there? No idea. Okay. Boom, boom. Mind controls idle awaiting input.
And when at last he found the source of the room's power, he knew it was his duty, his obligation, to put an end to this horrible place and to everything it stood for.
Okay. Let's turn it off.
Blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over? Yes. He had won. He had defeated the machine.
Oh.
Unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had
True.
his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him. For it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door.
Like, this looks a little bit like Greece. Like these, like, stone walls and
Stanley felt the cool breeze
trees.
upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
Nice. That was a really nice ending. But that doesn't mean that I
All
don't
of his
need
co-workers
any
were gone.
other
What could it mean?
endings.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room.
Yeah,
Perhaps he had
yeah,
simply
yeah.
missed a memo.
Yeah. I don't have too much time
When
today.
Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. This was
But-
not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Perhaps.
Wow, yes, this room. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
We will try one more run. And if you enjoy this, we can go again and again, I think. If I remember correctly, this game has like about 40 different endings, so...
And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
And also, this version is like the newer version of the game. So, there is even more content. What's happening to the sound?
Yet there was not a single
That's fine.
person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
No, he didn't.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss,
Hello.
admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe...
Just a second, I don't know what's happening to the sound. Okay, I think it's back.
I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all. None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down?
Oh my god.
Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went?
And it loops.
And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar.
Yeah, it
Were they
loops.
simply repeating?
Yeah.
No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming, he yelled. This is all a
Yay.
dream. Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So,
I
he
love
imagined
lucid
himself
dreaming.
flying and began to gently float above the ground.
I do this all
Then
the
he
time.
imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself, believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley.
Yeah,
After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream.
of course.
Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago?
Exactly.
How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it.
Yes.
He would prove that he was in control.
That's good.
That this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment and my wife and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine. I am okay.
Namaste.
Stanley began screaming. Please, someone, wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black.
Oof.
This is the story of a woman named Mariella.
Hi, Mariella.
Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy, this much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day, the very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
This one is heavy. Like heavy. Especially considering that I've suffered from like dissociation. How would I call it better in English? Displacement. as well. So I've told you I have like issues with memory when it comes to difficult periods in my life. Like I literally don't remember. Like my brain literally displaced those memories. So yeah, this whole thing about like tell me I'm real, I must be real is so fucking like triggering and raw. But also like this stuff with Mariella, this because everyone knows what crazy people look like. It's so full of irony, but it is the way so many people think that, oh, I am normal, I'm fine, and I actually feel good seeing this man die in front of me because he was crazy, and I know that I'm not crazy because everyone knows what crazy people look like. So it actually makes me feel better because I know I am normal. It's so many people who think this way, and yeah, and the ending that she turned around and ran. Literally what Stanley was doing, he was running and screaming, and she turned around and ran. We're so close to this like insanity, quote unquote. So yeah, this ending is one of like the strongest ones for me personally. But there are many others which are really cool or really interesting or really heavy or really funny or really stupid. There is like everything for everyone in this game. So yeah, I'm gonna go feed my animals now, but I really hope you found this game interesting, and if you want to continue it, just tell me, because again, there is a lot that we can still do. So much, actually, so much. We just started. So yeah, the end is never the end, is never the end, is never the end. We only can end and begin a new story, but never end completely. So, see you soon, and I hope you're having a beautiful day. Yay!